Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, I wanted you and I to get together and talk about this specific topic because we received a lot of criticism for being critical of this individual. And I'm talking about Shakur Stevenson. Now, we were critical of Shakur Stevenson for taking on Joe Cordina, an individual who is coming up one weight class and coming off of a TKO loss to an individual who can't even punch. We saw Shakur trying to pump this guy up. Trying to pump the guy up, basically saying that the guy is a dangerous opponent, that he was weight drained at 130 pounds and he'll be more formidable at 135. We thought that William Zepeda was a better opponent. Personally, I think we all felt that he should have positioned himself to make that Gervonta Davis fight. And I was of the mindset that he had really no intention on making that fight. And quite frankly, later on, we did a video, and I believe this is where we were critical of Shakur Stevenson. Basically saying that, or basically letting people know that Shakur stated that, it's F them. It's international cur now. And I saw so many people making excuses. William Zepeda was the one that dug. He didn't really want the fight. Gervonta Davis wasn't really trying to make a fight. They didn't even send an offer. All of these different things that they wanted to put out there to make excuses for Shakur Stevenson. So now we have a situation that's currently going on, and we saw this on the Boxing Voice, where Team Zepeda basically called Shakur Stevenson and his team out, and made it clear that they didn't really want the fight. I'm going to play it, Jay. I'm just going to share it real quick. It's a snippet. It's about 37 seconds, so I think it'll be easy for people to consume, right? So that they can get the opportunity to see what it is that we're talking about, Jay. So let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. There we go. And we got it in here. This is from the good brother Dan, the boxing man. He pulled this clip up. It was easy to find, so we're going to use this. And Jay, let's go ahead and play it.
What's the true situation?
We don't want no tune-up. We were just, William just had his baby. William's baby was just born yesterday, so we knew that was coming, so that's why we asked for November. And just like we're fighting in November, it's not about a tune-up fight. It's not about nothing. At the end of the day, we just didn't even know why, all of a sudden he was fighting a different fighter, which he has, he can do so. He's the champ. That's what he chose. But yeah, we were willing to fight in November.
So as far as you're concerned, you were available. What's the truth?
So the clip didn't include that last response, but basically he's going to basically state that, yeah, they were available to fight in November. So in his mind, Jay, it was like, boom, we told him that we were willing to fight. Shakur Stevenson's date is what? In October, correct?
Yep.
So essentially all he had to do was wait 1 month. Supposedly William Zepeda was the individual that he wanted to fight, but instead he chose Joe Cordina because he's chasing a bag. Right? He's chasing easy money. Huh?
Thought you chasing greatness.
That's what he says, but he's chasing an easy bag. And the thing about it, if he wanted greatness and a bag, he could have pushed a Gervonta Davis fight. And I want to go on record to say this. And this is just based on conversations that I've had, Jay. My personal opinion, and I said this on our live stream, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday, so check us out, that the powers that be would be, how do I want to say this? They would prefer a Shakur Stevenson fight sooner rather than later. Gervonta Davis is 29 years old. He's at his peak today. Once you hit 30, 31, 32, not to say that he still won't be a great fighter, but you start to decline. They would rather have that fight and make that fight now than in the future. And trust me when I tell you, they want that fight, but at the right price, right? It has to make economic sense. And that's just based on my understanding, and it's just based on conversations that I've had with people inside of the sport. So they want to make that fight. Jay, what's your thoughts on that? That fight was available. To me, my personal opinion, that fight could have been made. But what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, first off, I owe William Zepeda and his team an apology. So I was calling him straight up duck. You know, I thought it was all on them. I thought they was all just saying, "Nah, we ain't gonna do it." And I was like, "Hold up, you said no to Shakur, but now you fight in November potentially Tevin Farmer or George Kambosos. This doesn't make sense." Now his team is like, "No, this was the play from the very beginning. We knew his wife was having a baby around this time. That's why we always wanted to fight in November." So now it's on Shakur. Shakur is not chasing greatness. He's chasing the bag, which is fine. But let
It's
people
fine.
know that's what you're doing. Don't sit here and lie and say you're chasing greatness and you fighting Jork Cordina and then you try to tell everyone, oh, this is a great fight. He was just weight drained. He lost to a dude that had less than 33% knockout ratio by TKO. You know, so I mean, this ain't nothing. This is a fight no one wanted and pay-per-view for that fight too. Nah, miss me with that. So this Shakur is just trying to chase a bag, double dealing basically. To your point, I'm like, this is the second time he had a chance to really chase greatness. Because before he said, "Man, I should have called Devin Haney's bluff and took that offer." Because I got confident in my skills. I can beat him no matter what. I should have taken that deal. Yeah, you should have. Then you would be undisputed. And all this would be under the bridge. People would come to you now for the belts instead of all the belts being dispersed. Second time. Oh, well, you know, if Loma backs out, put me in there, coach. Put me in there, Coach Keeney. Loma backs out. Where you at, Kurt? Where you at, Shakur? We don't see you now. All of a sudden now, you quiet and you fighting Joe Cordina when you could have had Tank. You could have had Devin last year. You could have had Williams Zepeda in November. Corey, what's going on, man? Are you just chasing the bag or you chasing greatness? It can be both, but you gotta let people know. All you talk about is chasing greatness, but you fighting Joe Cordina, dude. Nah, man. This is on Curry now. I was like, Williams Zepeda, team Zepeda. My bad, y'all. I thought y'all would duck it on this time here. Maybe the last time y'all probably legit duck it. But this one right here, I gotta say, this is on Shakur.
Yeah, here's my challenge with the whole situation, Jay. You tell me if you see it similarly. But if the roles were reversed, the detractors of Gervonta Davis and Tank was on a popular boxing show. Shout out to Fanon International. And he was telling Team Shakur, hey, man, if your next fight doesn't materialize, no, call me. Call me. I'm ready. I'll make that fight. And then he also had someone who was his mandatory interested in the fight and only wanted the fight delayed by a month. Right? And then all of a sudden, he ends up fighting Joe Cordina. And he makes the comment, F the fans, it's international Tank. I got to go over here and get this bag. What would the response be?
Oh, they'd be lighting Tank up, man.
Absolutely. They'd light him up like a Christmas tree. So that's my issue with what some of these fans will state, right? It's like you only take a position based off of the actual person who was in the position, right? So that's my challenge. And I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. Some people think that this is a strike against this channel. It's really not. Because if you pretend as though you don't have a bias, then to me, I just completely dismiss your argument to begin with. We all have biases, specifically in situations where we are a fan of a fighter, we are a fan of a team, whatever. You have a certain level of bias. Bias is not part of the issue, right? Really, the issue is when you have no real true rationale or logic supporting your stance and your statement. And many of these fans don't. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this particular topic. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and we are out.